Hey, what's up everybody? Michael here. I was just doing a little bit of exploring in the PlayStation scene, and well, I saw something that I wasn't quite expecting, and that was that the known PlayStation hacker Gezine had released this post over here on X stating that they had created a Switch 1 and 2 Userland exploit that is not WebKit or a safe exploit. Now, right here, you might be thinking, okay, well, what about the PlayStation 5 work that he had been focused on for so long? Well, I think that's because the PlayStation 5 work is pretty much over. We know that Gezine has a private kernel exploit, and yeah, it's running on the very latest version of the PlayStation 5, which is 13.42. And of course, a bunch of other known developers have this thing as well. And again, yeah, this is a super recent release of the PS5 firmware. So with one system completely dominated, it only makes sense to start going after another big system, and the Switch 2 is what was selected. Now, it would be very interesting to see him go after Xbox, but maybe that would be after the Switch 2 is finished up. Now, he kicks off things here with, but we already have a Userland exploit from day one. The only difference is the existing Userland exploit is based on save game exploit, which can't be used without the save transfer using the Nintendo Online service. Now, let's take a look at this real quick. So, what he is referring to here, but we already have a Userland exploit from day one, it is this post right here. So, this was by David Buchanan, and again, they released this post on June the 5th of 2025, and what they stated was Userland ROP, or return-oriented programming, on day one. And so anyways, there is this little video here which has become extremely famous, and what he stated here was that it is a frame buffer graphics demo. This has no practical purpose, and I can't prove I'm not like playing a YouTube video or something. But this is the very first thing that we saw, and David did clarify here, I don't have native code execution. This is all in Userland ROP context. And well, if you follow my channel, I was doing these Switch 2 development and Homebrew news at one point, and I covered it back then, which was now right at a good year ago. Now, going back to present day here, we can see that he expands on this message here, stating that this forces you to be on the latest firmware. So even if a kernel exploit or some software-based privilege escalation is found, 99% of the people can't use the save exploit. But this one works without any restrictions, and it works at all firmwares. Now, as of this recording, if I head over to Nintendo's official site, you can see that the very latest version that is available is 22.5.0. So this one was released on June the 15th, 2026, and I'm currently recording this on July the 9th, 2026. Now, what I would suggest is that if you do happen to have multiple consoles, obviously it's always great to, again, keep one console on the latest firmware and then the other one on the lowest firmware. So here is an opportunity that you could take if, again, you had an additional console. Now, do keep in mind that this is just a Userland exploit and that nothing may come out of this. So that's why I've kind of leaned on only if you have the ability to have an additional console would I really wait on this. Now, the remaining here, he said, why not hack the WebKit? And that was because the Switch 2 WebKit has an ARM PAC that prevents ROP code execution. So basically this is ARM based versus like the x86 or x64 architecture. So he states here, so I avoided it as there was more easy way to exploit it. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Okay, so since this only flashes for a second, I just decided to pause it here So we can see we've got screen logging initialize, got an unstable read-write primitive, a stable read-write primitive, and then it says here ROP setup finished, and calling application error. This resume, we should immediately see the display here. And so up here at the top, it does state an error code. And right there, hello from switch 2 has been added to this. And now just to basically prove that this wasn't fake, they are going to go ahead and jump into the details here. Right here, you've got a bunch of names that we already know. So Earth Onion, they are also the folks that just stepped up and had a new DNS server. Now that Nomadic's DNS server is down, you got UMF42, Cal. Anyways, it's really neat to see some of the PlayStation scene members over on the Switch 2 working to build something out, especially for the homebrew community. Anyways, great work from them. And so now if we just go ahead and resume this, then it's just going to come back with show application error returned. And that is pretty much the Switch 2 hacking update. Again, this is Userland only, and that we don't have anything past that. Now, I will say that the advice that I gave you was that if you do have an additional Switch, it would be a good time to at least stop updating it at this point, because you do know that at least on version 22.5.0, this Userland ROP was executed successfully. And I would also say the same kind of goes true right now for the PlayStation 5. Except in this scenario, we already know there is a kernel exploit for version 13.42. So you might just want to go ahead and take one of these 13.42 systems offline, because one day, I can say that pretty successfully in the future, whether it be months or years, you would be able to exploit and jailbreak that system. Now, before we go, let's just see if PlayStation's official social media account is still a disaster. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page here, and I'm going to scroll down to the last tweet, which was 4 hours ago, and yeah, they are still a little angry here. So it does not look like they have forgotten at all. And yeah, just a complete and utter disaster. Anyways, thank you so very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out! Like, seriously, what is Sony's endgame now? What is next? I totally want to know.